Hey, welcome everybody. This is going to be week 15 of Sparkyz cast, Sparkyz versus CJ Entus. We are almost getting our way into round 3 of and the Winners League, I suppose. But for now, we are still catching up with round 2. End of round 2 action, standard Pro League rules. Like I said, this is going to be Sparkyz versus CJ Entus, and to start things off, we are going to have Movie for CJ playing against HoGiL for Sparkyz. And I gotta say, at the beginning of this, I'm already loving this matchup that we have right here. Just because Movie, obviously, doing much. He's really made a name for himself this year. He's having a really good year. Just 9-9 in the Pro League season, and just 4-4 against Zerg. But obviously, silver medalist in the OSL is nothing to laugh about. And what I love about it is that HoGiL is surprisingly good against Protoss, and so we've got a Protoss sniper that might be able to play an upset card here, and it also protects Lita, who has been struggling against Protoss, from having to play a good up-and-coming Protoss player, and so he'll be free to give more of a challenge to a good Zerg or Terran like Effort or Sky High or Iris or something of that nature. So already I'm very happy about this. Anyways, I forgot to mention colors, which is not that important at the moment because they haven't found each other, but this is HoGiL here as the orange Zerg in the northwest. His opponent, as I have mentioned, is Movie, who is that Teal Protoss starting in the southeast position, and they are playing on Fighting Spirit, which I'm always constantly amazed at how balanced this map actually is, because I feel like it should just be a Terran-dominated map, but I guess not, and I feel like Protoss should have a pretty good advantage over Zerg, but I guess not. I guess there is a lot of open territory in the middle of the map for Zerg to maneuver around, which is pretty good, but I feel like those bridges outside of the natural expansion can be thoroughly exploited if one were to so choose, and it has been in the past, but apparently not all the time. HoGiL going for an aggressive double expand strategy to start out. I think it was a 12 hatch into a spawning pool, and now it looks like he's going to place that third hatchery. Hasn't quite yet. Movie going for a typical Forge First Fast expand outside of his natural expansion, and the Forge is out, and the Gateway and Nexus have both been built before any cannons, so he has scouted out at least the first expansion and the sort of late pool because of that, and he is deciding not to build any cannons at the moment. But HoGiL going to be in a pretty comfortable position. This is one of the problems with this map for Zerg that I feel is that it could be difficult to gain a third base later in the game. I think this is actually a pretty smart move, especially because you can expect that your Protoss opponent is going to be going for Forge First Fast Expand. So you're not going to have too much pressure on you early in the game, at least until there are a couple of Corsairs out in the field, so that is pretty late. And this way you can set up your third base, and it'll already be up and running and producing things, hopefully, by the time that any pressure might come towards that. Otherwise, if you're stuck on 2 bases for a little while, when you try to move out, your opponent has that bridge that they can use to pick off units trying to get to the third, or they can, so that can delay your reinforcements while they send troops up directly into the third without having to go over the bridge. Anyhow, where am I going this? So, like I was saying, Movie doing pretty well. Ooh, we see a Hydralisk den already, so it might just be going directly into Hydralisk, might be going for that Neo Sauron build. That looks like it's a pretty typical build order for that we've seen so far for that. Putting down the 3 hatcheries, Hydralisk den on the way, and then as soon as that lair is finished, he will be coming up with some Mutalisks, or he might be going in for just Mutalisks into Lurkers. Either option would probably be pretty viable, although I think lurkers might be a pretty good decision on this map. He also hasn't started up his lair, which is interesting. Maybe he will just be going for a mass HoGiL attack. I'm not positive about this, but I would have thought that he would have had his lair up, and especially if he was going for Mutalisk, he might be thinking about putting up another extractor pretty soon to get some more gas, because he's got 3 bases starting to mine, but only 1 gas at the moment. A few Zerglings and a couple of HoGiL moving down towards the front door for Movie, so it looks like HoGiL wants to put in a little bit of early aggression. But like I was saying about Movie, 4-4 this Pro League season, which is not the best in the world, but you know, he's been doing pretty well, and most of his losses have been against high-profile Zergs, I guess you could say, like Jaedong and Quanro. And here comes those first HoGiL already picking away at that Forge. 3 Zealots and a Dragoon out there to defend, and they are coming in to try to push those HoGiL off, but more HoGiL coming in to reinforce. You can see on the mini-map at least 3 more streaming in, probably a 4th. So HoGiL just has units rallied over there, and he's going to put a lot of pressure. This Forge has already lost its shields, it's already started to burn, so it is in danger. 4 cannons have been warped in at that natural expansion, and the Forge goes down, so Movie already losing his Forge with just this little timing attack coming from HoGiL, and he is just reluctant to move in at all, and HoGiL is going to be able to pick off the gateway as well, so a gateway, 1 gateway and 1 Forge already being taken down, I mean, and HoGiL is really putting on a lot of pressure. He's being stopped a little bit by those cannons. There are still at least 3 cannons up. He took 1 out. He's focusing down. Great focus fire there, taking down another 2 cannons, only losing a handful of HoGiL to that, and also picking off a Zealot as they try to retreat. Now he's moving in for, this is really critical right here. He might be able to take it in. Probes are coming off the line. HoGiL doing huge damage, and great little micro there, being able to just kind of almost like a Dragoon would be microing right there, just stepping back, firing, stepping back and firing to do maximum damage to those Zealots. Now focus firing down on that Dragoon. It is going to be retreating, but already a lot of probes have been lost, not to mention all of those cannons and the gateway and the Forge. It looks like he has rebuilt the Forge because he's trying to build a couple more cannons, and there is no mining going on right now. The coaches are happy about this. Movie is in huge amounts of trouble, and HoGiL is already looking like he's going to upset the silver medalist of the OSL. DT's coming out for Movie, so a last-ditch DT effort, but HoGiL very wisely already has Overlords in the area, so Overlords are going to be protect. 2 of those DTs died instantly. A High Templar coming out, but I doubt he has Storm Research, and he is going to completely lose this base, I feel. HoGiL is moving all the way into the main base right now, and there are still no defenses for Movie. Movie is going to have to come up with a miracle. That last DT better get like 20 kills. Or he could be waiting for that Storm. If he can get Storm in time, he might be able to deal with his HoGiL, but I really doubt it. HoGiL is sitting on 3 bases and is fully mining on all of them. He snipes down the High Templar, takes out the last couple of Zealots, and he is just going to be rolling over Movie right now. Movie has 1 probe trying to still mine at that expansion. It is being shot down by HoGiL, and HoGiL is set to take an early win. So Sparkyz coming off, coming with a little bit of momentum into this map, and they have decided that they don't want to be swept by CJ like they did in were in round 1. And HoGiL is able to take out Movie, the silver medalist of the OSL. Once again, I want to say that just because I love it when our players beat guys that are doing well in individual leagues. It makes me feel good about our team. Anyways, great game, and we'll see you in game 2.